Access to the Monte Zone will be granted shortly. Please stand by. Access to the Monte Zone will be granted shortly. Please stand by.
Good evening. It's Friday. It's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
It's the Monte Zone.
It's the Monte Zone.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, welcome to the Monte Zone. Hopefully, this is working.
Yeah, let us know in chat if you can hear us all okay and we sound okay and not too strange.
We have been practicing this to make sure the mics work and it all appears to be working okay. So fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed this is working. I'm just muting my phone so it doesn't.
We are podcasting to you together
in
the
same
zone.
room. Yes, all is well with the sound, says Smiler Rainbow. So that's good news so far. Yep, all good, says Mickey. Good evening, Karen. Good evening, Maz. Oh, good to see you. Everybody, happy birthdays to Maz and with Bob in chat. It's coming up to her birthday. So, yeah, if we could have some birthday greetings in chat from Maz.
Birthday cake.
Some birthday cakes. Yeah, I'm sure there's some birthday emojis out there. But,
yeah.
now, our first idea for this, G, was to do it on the couch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But to move all my equipment and set it up so that we were just over there, just really wasn't
But it's a very, very valid and good reason to buy a laptop. A super powerful laptop.
I think so. Well, now you've put that idea in my head, G.
I did not put that idea in his head. Smiler, I did not put that idea in his head. He was telling me about it before we came on live.
It's lies. It's lies. I hadn't even thought about it. But but now you mention it, it would be useful. It would be a useful addition.
Yeah. So we can like touch each other now.
Oh, is that a good thing?
I guess so. If you're feeling happy.
Yeah. Okay. Another unboxing video. Yes, yeah. I think we've got another unboxing video coming for sure.
And apologies if my chair is squeaking.
Yeah, give it a good squeak. Can you
It's a
hear
nice
that?
red chair, though. I'm liking it.
Yeah, it was my old chair that I got this one to replace it. But yes,
Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Friday night in March.
I've got a beer. I've got an IPA. So
I've got a beer, so cheers.
Cheers. Look at that.
Yay.
We can kind of chinkish.
And we don't have to do some sort of weird thing
Weird.
acting like we're doing it.
Passing
we are
it,
actually
passing
really
it
doing
off camera. Like if I chink this way and you can chink that way. Chink. That would be the normal way of doing it, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So I hope you're all ready for the weekend, in that weekend mood.
I am. I've got my beer. It's Friday night. I've got my mates. Yeah. So I'm in a weekend mood. Yeah.
So let us know, just keep letting us know in chat what you think about this new format, if you prefer it with us in the zone together, or whether, you don't have to answer that question now. Let the show unfold and see how it rolls and goes, and let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know. And also, if you've got a beer or wine or gin or whatever your tipple is, let us know in chat what you're having with the Monte Zone this evening.
Should we tell everybody kind of like the view in terms of the update of the format of the show, which we were testing last time we did Monte Zone, and how we're going to go forward? Should we talk about that a little bit first?
Yeah, we can do. So when we created the Monte Zone, we started doing, well, for the first sort of, I guess, nearly a year and a half. Each Monte Zone had a particular theme, and we kind of deep dived into that theme. But trying to keep that going with different themes every time and doing the research and that is can be quite difficult.
Yeah.
It's not our full-time jobs, is it?
No, definitely not. So, but I mean, one of the things that I've found out from delving deeper into doing the vaults is that it's nice to grab stuff as it's relevant. So if it's something that's come out, that's where we can get the most reaction. That's where we can do the most initial investigations, rather than looking at stuff that's sort of like 10, 15 years old. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because I think it's always good to go back and revisit certain things, like we might do with a couple of bits this evening. I've certainly got something that's about 10 years old. But, if you're trying to get stuff that's fresh and off the press, it's hard to do that if you're keeping it to a theme. So what we kind of decided, if you joined us last time on the Monte Zone, you'll have known that we did like a Q&A and an open mic session. And that was all about getting everybody to understand that when you come along and join us, that it's all about us doing live investigations or having discussions, and you can be part of that. That's how it works. That's the best way it's going to work, is that community, that sharing. So if you've seen some footage or seen something out there, then come to us on the Monte Zone ready to share it, and we can talk about it with you, look at it live online, and and it allows us to bring stuff that's pretty much really current right now when we come to do the Monte Zone as well. So yep. I think the format definitely works better for me for this, and it means that the content is kind of like varied as well, rather than us just talking about one thing. Because if you tune in and you're not really into that sort of phenomena, then it's going to be a bit of a dull show.
Bit of a dull one.
Yeah.
Where now we're kind of covering multiple topics, whatever's current and topical, I suppose. I see we've got ginless gins. People, Maz has got a Zinfandel called Uncle Zin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Apparently we need to sit closer together, according to Karen.
Oh, well, I could do a little bit. Is that better? Is that?
There we go. Is that better, Karen? Let us know.
Yeah. You happy? There we go.
Originally, we created the distance, though, because before we came on live, we were having some technical issues with the mics.
The mics were feeding back off each other, so we were trying to stay within camera, but as far away from each other as possible, so that the mics didn't feed back. But I think we've sorted the camera issues now. Yeah, I don't know where Chewy is for you there, Karen. But yeah, I think we fixed it, the mic issues. But yeah, it's good. It's all good.
Yes, and thank you, Monte, for doing all the new artwork for the channel as well, and for the Monte Zone. Really like that. And again, let us know what you think about that in chat. Monte's been working hard on that this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know what you think of the new logos, the new colour scheme, and all that stuff. Yeah,
Cool.
I'm pretty. I have to say I like it.
I like it as well.
I'll pin my colours to the mast and say, yeah, I quite like the new logo. I think it looks snazzy.
I like it in red.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we get into, because I know that you've got some, you've got news, but not necessarily paranormal news, but
Not
news
really
of the
paranormal
strange
news,
and stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. But before we get into that, I just wanted to do a big thank you to a couple of people. Because as you all know, we're getting some good reaction to some of our videos here on this channel. We're getting some good traction on the TNG review show and looking at new ways in which we can present the format in that one, and that's all down to Monte and Mazza doing a great job on that. But getting some good traction on some of the G-Star vaults and also the story times as well. But I just want to say a big thank you, one, to everyone, because our subscribers have been flying up of late, and that's awesome to see. But also, I just want to do a special mention to Mickey Early, who is with us in chat tonight and online. And I just want to say a big thank you for, since I've been really getting after the G-Star Vaults, Mickey shared a couple of things with myself that he's seen, which is what it's all about. It's really helpful. It allows us then to talk about it and talk about you guys and the fact that you brought it to us. But I also want to put a big thank out to Kevin Worrell. Kevin Worrell is someone who subscribed to the channel quite early on. And, in terms of loyalty and always watching the videos and always putting his thoughts and comments into the comments, it's just great. It's just fantastic. And it's you two guys are really what I would consider the ambassadors of our channel and our subscribing population, and definitely part of the Vault family. So I just want to say a big thank you from me for the support and the loyalty, really.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you very much.
Mickey did not give Monte and G. No, he didn't pay me to say that. He didn't pay me to say that. But yeah, and again, we've got, that's, I think, the beautiful thing about the Vault in this channel and the other shows like the TNG reviews show is that our audience are really loyal, like Karen and Dan M and Mazza and everybody that joins in. But the comments is really helping me with the G-Star Vaults, because it's one thing putting it out there. I divulge something and then share my thoughts and feelings on that with you guys, but it's no good if I'm just putting it out there and I don't know what people are thinking about that view and opinion or giving me their thoughts.
That feedback's essential, isn't it?
It is because it helps me. There's a couple of times when people have commented and brought stuff up that I didn't even notice, and then I've had to go back to it and go, oh, I need to address this and I need to talk about it because that's a really good point that they've raised. So just wanted to put out a big thank you for everyone.
Nice. So we'll have a virtual hug.
Yeah.
We're not hugging. I regretted saying it once.
Yeah. I was looking at it thinking, why did you say virtual?
No, I know.
I'm in the room.
You're in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, where should we start?
With your news.
Oh, yes, my news. News, hot off the press, yes. Stop sharing that. Share something else. So this was not really paranormal, but it was just an interesting piece of news that come up this week. That Shackleton's ship, the Endurance, has been found after 107 years of being lost. So Shackleton was Sir Ernest Shackleton was a British explorer who holds like some records of getting to poles and things. And during an expedition to Antarctica, it was an expedition actually to be the first people to cross from land one side of Antarctica to the other. That was what they're trying to do. They left from South Africa on a ship called the Endurance, and unfortunately they never made land. The Endurance got caught up in ice sheets and basically got crushed and sank.
Did they know that before they found the wreck? How? Or it disappeared?
Yes, yeah, no, and they did. They mostly survived. Shackleton did survive it, and brought back some photos. So we know what happened to it. But no one, in 107 years of looking for it, nobody has been able to find it. And they've now finally found it. And the thing about it is, it's in remarkable condition. Now, we've talked about, I only bring this up as news for us on this show because we've talked about Antarctica and, what you could find there and things. So this is just a sort of interesting thing.
Well, it also goes to indicate how unexplored the area is, because, I mean, this has been there for 107 years and only just been found. So,
plus, it's so difficult to get to and investigate. It was found 4 miles south of where the captain of the Endurance said that it sank. So it was literally just around the corner. But it's taken 107 years to find it. But look, you can see Endurance written across the stern. You can see the wheel. It's all like completely intact. I mean, you look at the wood on it. Now, apparently, this is all because wood-eating worms don't migrate that far south into the Antarctic. So there's not much life down there to make the thing rot away. So it's literally been in a fridge and it's a freezer and it's being preserved. It's being perfectly preserved. So it is in fantastic condition. There's some photos down here. Don't you love going to like the Daily Mail and the interface they give you? It looks fantastic, doesn't it? I love going to news sites. Sometimes
you click on it and you're just like, where's the actual story?
Yes, right.
Because all I can see is about going on holiday and adverts.
Yeah. Karen says, tongue teaser, Shackleton's sunken ship scene.
Shackleton's sunken ship scene.
Yeah.
Say that 10 times.
So there you go. That's where it is, located in the Weddell Sea.
I mean, it's a good point, right? Because, you hear a lot of people talk about the fact that we've only explored, what is it, something like 7% of the ocean, or is it 10% now? Is it increasing?
Well, I don't know.
But it's a very small percentage, isn't it, right? And, sometimes when you think about that, you think, well, why is that the case? Why can we explore land and not explore the sea so well? Well, the reality is that actually it costs a lot. I did an episode of G-Star Vault way early on, the one about the Baltic Sea anomaly. Anomaly. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And, I mentioned in that video that, a lot of people, you kind of see an article about, they found this sonar scan of this image, and then your instant reaction is, well, why don't they go back there and find out what it is? Well, it's not that simple, and especially in oceans like the Baltic Sea. Again, in that episode, I was talking about the temperature, like we're talking about the situation in the Arctic. It's not easy. They need special equipment. And the thing is, all of these projects need funding to be able to do it, you know? And when you're doing it for something purely scientific, it's probably easy to get that funding. But if you're doing it for something that's a little bit more fringe, like, we want to go and see and try and find this weird, anomaly in the sea, people are like, well, where's the value in that? And because just a project on a yacht with a submersible, with a crew, with divers, that's going to probably cost in the region of like £500,000.
Yeah, it's
just for
cheap.
a couple of days,
Yeah.
So it's I think it's the cost. But this is really interesting, and especially the preservation of the ship. Is that a picture of him?
That's Shackleton, Sir Shackleton, there, on the deck. That's the Endeavour getting stuck in ice. That's her later sinking because she's been crushed.
So I'm guessing, because you said he survived, right? The captain survived?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that they maybe walked out or something once it got trapped?
I guess they did.
And then it just melted in it, and then the ship sank.
It sank. Yeah.
Interesting.
That was the where they went. So Mickey's asked the question, do you think they'll ever remove it? I think they're saying that there's no plans to remove it. It's become a historical protected site.
That must be complicated to achieve, given that the Antarctica has got that. Because we were talking about on that Antarctica episode, weren't we, where it's split out across the 12 countries, 12 countries that own. So it must sit in one particular country off the coast.
No, I think it's in Weddell Bay there. I think that's just in international waters.
Right.
I don't think anybody can own.
But still, that'd be complicated to do, right? Because you've got to get the buy-in of multiple governments.
Yeah, and it's a difficult location in the middle of packed ice, and it's just finding it and getting there is hard enough. I don't think there's any plans to bring it up. I think they've made a documentary about it with Dan Snow. Dan Snow. That's
quite appropriate in the Antarctica.
There's a picture of the expedition. Anyway, so that was it. That was my first.
Well, it's a good little find. It's an interesting story.
Yeah.
Especially, I think it does lend well to things where, people are saying, oh, we've been looking for this for like over 100 years, and now equipment and the progress in technology and the things that we do are helping us find things a little bit better that we couldn't find before. Maybe that'll happen with Bigfoot someday. Who knows?
Who knows? If anybody has got anything else they want, if they rather than type it in chat, if they want to come into the studio and join us and talk about whatever topic you want to talk about, I've posted the link to the studio in chat. Feel free to use that link.
Just let us know in chat before you come in, so we know who's knocking at the door.
Well, I'll see them knocking at the door when they enter the green room.
And I'll see them now as well. So I feel like I have almost semi-control.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you can see backstage.
Except I'll be like, can you do that? Can you move this there?
Move out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so should we get into this evening's first topic of discussion? I wouldn't class this one as an investigation. I would just class this one as a discussion.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
So, basically, I came across something this week which, even for me, is a bit fringe. I never imagined that I would be bringing this subject matter to talk about, really, to be honest with you, because there's certain elements or subjects where I'm kind of like, okay, that's a little bit too much out there.
Does anybody want to guess in chat what possible subject we could be about to talk about that would be considered fringe for G-Star?
Yeah.
What
could that be? Yeah. I'll give it a couple of minutes whilst we talk amongst ourselves for you guys, because I know there's a bit of lag. So, put your thoughts in chat what you think I'm about to discuss, because ultimately I thought I would never discuss this subject, but I came across something that I thought, do you know what, this sounds a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And this will be hair. Karen's bit
fringe.
Fringe. Get it? Yeah, it's a bit fringe, isn't it? Very clever, Karen. Very clever.
Oh dear.
Hairdressers Fringe. Yeah, well, this would be a good idea if people were looking at the adverts or the event that I put up on Facebook. 'Cause I think I mentioned it briefly in that. So that shows that'll indicate how engaged our audience is. But come on, we've got one suggestion so far from Karen about hair.
Anybody else got any ideas? What? I'm interested.
I'm just going to bring the story up. So
yeah, Karen's just proving that she's still awake on a Friday night. Karen's had a bad week.
Yes, I know. I obviously tuned in this Wednesday on the TNG show, and she was still meant to be off skiing, right? And I had to come home early, and lots of drama there. So sorry about it's been a bit of a rubbish week.
Mickey's not got any clue. something hair-raising. Well, I guess the thing he's talking about has hair.
Yeah, I'm talking more like pseudoscience sort of thing rather than Fringe that's talking about hairdressing, Karen. But yeah, shall I get into it?
Is that something?
What's that? The Fringe. Yeah, there was a show. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Walter. Yeah. I used to like
it's a good
Fringe.
show. Yeah, just went a bit off towards the end, didn't it?
J.J. Abrams, isn't it?
Yeah.
Comes up with a good idea
and then just
creates
walks away and
interest,
leaves.
and then
He's not a very
has
good
no
finisher,
idea
is
how
he?
to finish. He's not a completer finisher, is he?
No, he certainly isn't. I mean, look at what he did with Lost. Oh my God.
Star Wars.
Yeah, everything. Everything he's touched. People think it's so great when he gets hold of it, but it just means that it's going to be great to start off with and terrible to finish. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yes, go.
So, what I'm going to talk about is mermaids. Yeah, and I was like, really? Will I bring this topic to discuss? Yeah, but it's actually quite an interesting article that I came across. So I think Monte's just sharing a picture. This came from a website. Now, how science this website is, I don't know. I haven't used this website enough to be able to give you a full confirmed thumbs up. Just to let you know, I'm not looking at chat at the moment, by the way. But yeah, so it's called the Science Times, and this is all about a team of scholars from Japan recently started investigating an unknown creature. The subject in question is a 300-year-old body with features similar to a fictional mermaid. Now, we really have to say similar and not exact. Among the interests of study is the track of history and the origin of the Mermaid Mummy. According to experts, the baffling remains might have been assembled as a value piece for export. The mummified relic is suspected to be belonging to a trade that was done in Europe sometime in the 1700s. The Mermaid Mummy has the size of, just measures 30 meters high, so it's teeny, like the size of a ruler.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is where it goes off the conventional, you're thinking of a mermaid, right? So this is
I was thinking of a person.
Yes, pretty much. But physical features of the unknown creature include a screaming face,
right,
hands covering its mouth, and a tail instead of legs. The mummified body is preserved in a container at a temple in the Okayama Prefecture. Since its recovery, the mermaid-looking creature has been kept at the same time right in the heart of Japan's Honshu Island. Although it was housed in the region for many years, its exact manufacturing origin and the reason behind its existence remains unsolved. I do think if you Google mummified mermaid,
I'll do that now.
It'll probably bring up a picture of it. Okay. The mummy is complete with human-like physiology. Oh, I struggle with that word. Physiology. Such as hair strands and nails. Although the creature's figure resembles human, the experts are still confused to why there are scales attached to its lower body. Found one? So it's a bit of a weird looking thing. But also remember, within the process of mummification, it would have definitely shrunk a little bit. But still not being the size of a normal person, of course.
I'm working on it. Hang on a minute. Karen wants to know what the size of her feet. What? It's a mermaid.
What? The size of her feet. Oh, yeah, it's a joke because it's a mermaid. Initial observations of the mummified mermaid were conducted by specialists from the Kurashiki University of Science and Arts. Images of the body were collected through the use of computerized tomography, which is basically a CT scan, at the Institute's veterinary hospital. According to a report by Japan's Yashini Shimbun, the box that encases the mummy was discovered with a note. The details state that the creature was caught through a fishing net in the vast waters of the Pacific on an unspecified date between 1736 and 1741. Bear in mind, this is 300 years old. Upon catching the relic, the mermaid was kept by a particular family that passed it down to later generations until it was secured at the Okayama Temple. Since then, the mummified remains have been displayed for 4 decades until today. So it's basically, they've now started, taking an interest in this and giving it studying, giving it CT scans. But some of the early tests have indicated that it is nails and hair strands. There are, just to sort of summarize, there are certain parties within the study that think that it might have been, it's definitely 300 years old. This is the thing. So it's not something that somebody's tried to just do a hoax on. They've probably tried to lend in to some suspicion if it was done 300 years ago, but 300 years ago people weren't trying to hoax for social media purposes and things like that. But it's suspected that it might be a number of different creatures spliced together and then mummified.
Like a baby or something, or
dwarf,
or
it could have been a disfigured baby that was
and a fish, and they just went.
But it'll be interesting.
It's horrifying looking. It's a thing of nightmares. Look at that.
But apparently, as I said, caught in a fishing net in the Pacific 300 years ago, was believed to be a sort of trade gift to somewhere in Asia 300 years ago that came on a ship and was traded with certain members in Japan and has stayed in this temple for the duration of those 300 years, and now scientists are starting to have a look at it. But what's interesting about the article, and why I'd encourage you guys, we'll put a link in the description, encourage you guys to read it, is because there's quite a lot of science going on behind this, and they're actually starting to do proper testing of it, and as I say, some of that testing is revealing that it is real hair.
That's a good shout, Mickey. He thinks monkey upper body. You're looking at the portion of the fingers and the... I mean, you look at the teeth. That does look monkeyish, doesn't it?
Yeah. But this is what's the beauty of this, these scientists getting a look at it, and especially from this veterinary background, is that if that's the case, they're going to find it out, right? And then they will hopefully share it and we can update you. But I just thought this was... particularly interesting in a realm of subject that usually I would instantly read it and go, no, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Let us know your thoughts in chat.
Karen thinks it could be a new Fortnite in character, a new character in Fortnite.
Yeah, but if it's in Fortnite, it'd have to be the floating worm man.
That's right. Yeah. It is horrifying looking.
It is a bit creepy, and it's a good shout from Mickey because that would still explain the nails, because monkeys have got nails.
Yeah.
But I just think it's some sort of disfigurement, and that's the reason why it was then mummified as a sort of novelty thing.
I don't know. You look at the way you can almost see that's where
they did the work to stitch it together.
Yeah.
The thing is, again, they'll be able to find that out because they should, if it was another type of sea life that they attached to it, they'll be able to pick that up from DNA, right?
Yeah. Sorry, you couldn't see my mouse then. I had the wrong thing, but I just think the way the tail goes up and then this bit here looks a bit suspicious, Doesn't look like a continuation of a thing, does it? But yeah, I'm sure CT CAT scans will show all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, now that Mickey said that, from that side view, you're getting the same sense of how a monkey's shoulder and the way that their heads, their neck is much lower than human necks.
Yeah,
the way it hunches down like that. So could be a very good point. But as I said, it's not always about us, investigating or discussing to prove that it is paranormal. Half of the fun is trying to find an explanation, right? A logical, sound explanation. Yeah. But why I thought this was interesting is because, they're actually doing the science behind this, and it'd be interesting to find out what they find out.
It's interesting that it's existed. It's found so long ago, and it's been sat there.
and nobody's taken a look at it. So.
Yeah, and now they finally took some interest.
Because I think where it said that it was displayed for 4 decades in one of the temples in Japan, then I can only assume that tourists were going there and looking at it and whatever. But maybe it's being used as a sort of novelty thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get in museums some of the shrunken heads and things like that, and but imagine the process of mummification, especially over. I mean, we know that the thing is at least 300 years old, but whether it was mummified before it was passed or, passed over, who knows? But, it would have probably been slightly bigger than what it is because everything mummified always shrinks like a raisin,
Yeah. But then back then, a couple of hundred years ago, before we had freezers, people preserved fish in salt. And that is principally the way of mummifying these things, is to pack them in salt. So those sort of people would have those skills to do that, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there we go. Interesting one, G. Thank you for bringing that along.
No worries. And keeping with the theme of aquaticness, if there is such a word.
Aquaticness.
Yes. Because it all seems quite aquatic so far.
It's a good word.
Yeah. We've been talking about a shipwreck and we've been talking about mermaids. Now going to go on and talk about...
I didn't realise this episode was going to be sort of sea-oriented.
Yeah, we've got a theme and we didn't even promote one. No, we will be getting on to some other stuff later that's not based under the ocean and under the sea. Anyway.
Under the sea.
So anyway, the next subject that I want to discuss is something that interesting. Again, this has come from an article, and it's all about this shark that has been photographed. This took place just off the coast of Mexico, and this is I believe it's a 15-foot shark. That was photographed by a diver recently, as I said, off the coast of Mexico, with a huge bite in the side of it.
The size of that bite.
Right? So I'm looking at this thinking, okay, right, because there's a lot of people out there that are really honed in on the cryptozoology theory of megalodon, right? But I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, a 15-foot great white is an adult great white, right? So 15 foot isn't as big as they can get. There's definitely some that have been recorded that are 25, 30 foot. I think the online you can see a footage. I can't remember what they called the shark now. Lucy or something.
Lucy?
I think they called it Lucy, and it was a 30-foot, 3-ton
She's the big one.
great white, yeah. So you certainly can get bigger. So this is still a mature adult great white, but not the biggest out there. But the bite is still a significant size in the side of it, but not big enough at first glance when I'm looking at it and looking at all the megalodon stuff that I'm thinking, right, okay, that isn't a megalodon. Now, what I can tell you a little bit about some of the study that's gone into this already is that what are some of the first thoughts that you've got?
Big bite, but
to explain it.
To explain it.
What would you think would be an explanation for that?
Big shark?
Possibly, but I'm not going there just yet.
Oh.
Like, what other logical explanation could there be?
Killer whale? No.
No, that's a good one. Good one. I'm glad you brought it up. So, killer whale.
No.
So basically, marine biologists already looked at it, and the bite mark isn't the same as what a killer whale's bite mark would be. Obviously, yes, it's a true fact that orcas do attack large sharks, and they've been known to attack great whites. They can
Their
take
jaws
down.
are quite a bit smaller, though, aren't they?
It's not so much their jaws; it's because of their bite, because they have a much more forward bite, so that you wouldn't get that kind of shape that you would get with some other creatures like sharks.
No, that does look sharky. Like.
Yeah. Okay, so what other explanation could it be?
It got.
Let us know in chat as well what you think.
Oh yeah, please. Let us know what you think it might be. Mick's thinking a boat propeller.
Okay, so again, they consider boat propeller, but the bite mark is clear enough to see that it also, you can't see it in this photograph, but there is an underbite as well, so you can see the underbite as well as the top bite. So again, if it was just the scar across the top, you could consider patella, but a patella wouldn't be able to get to its underbelly where the rest of the underbite is.
Yeah. Is our mics feeding back? I think Maz is saying that...
I've got to stop turning and looking at you, is what you're saying. Well, maybe I'll turn the mic away and you turn yours a little bit further away.
Put it this way a little bit.
Let's know if that resolves the problem.
There we go. See if that's a bit better.
Yeah, so let's keep so boat propeller, good guess, Mickey.
Can I just say, I've just noticed that this was an expedition to the Isle of Guadalupe Islands off Mexico, off Baja, California. Well, that's where I'm going to swim with great whites in September.
Yeah, well, you best be careful because I'm going to scare the hell out of you in a minute.
Oh, no.
I'm not done. I'm not quite done yet, but I'm still wanting people to give me their thoughts and feelings on...
a massive saltwater crocodile, says Mickey. That's
Again, another good guess, but again, the bite ratio wouldn't
I think it's just a giant shark, isn't it?
So there was a lot of people, I'll put people out of the misery, so there was a lot of people that initially would have assumed or made the initial guess that it was a bite that the shark had when it was much younger. So it would be a smaller shark.
It's grown with the scar.
However, that's been disproven as well because the way that sharks heal, and they are super healers, that's why they're used for a lot of medicinal scientific study. There's no way that shark could have experienced that bite as a juvenile and the scar would still be there because they have really great regeneration properties. Sharks do, in terms of getting rid of scarring, etc., especially from a young age going up into mature adulthood. So again, marine biologists have discounted that one. Now, what I found interesting about this is that, judging by the bite size, my brain didn't instantly go megalodon. But where my brain did go is something that I've taken a bit of interest in the past, and not a lot of people may be aware of. But there is a myth and a theory of something called the Black Demon. Have you ever heard of the Black Demon?
No.
No? Okay, so the Black Demon is believed to be a shark, right, that has most... This is where, as soon as I thought that, I hadn't read the article fully, so I didn't know when I was looking at this picture that it was in Mexico, right?
Right.
I just instantly, my brain went, Black Demon, right? And then I found out that Black Demon, most of the sightings and the myth of Black Demon exist off the coast of Mexico, right?
Right.
So the Black Demon is meant to be a shark that's been spotted by fishermen and reported for quite a few decades now off the coast of Mexico. That's meant to be pretty huge. It's meant to be about 30 foot and black. It's meant to... it's got similar features to a great white, but obviously a much more darker colour. And those that have sighted it and reported it have said that its tail is larger than a usual great white. So they believe that it might be some sort of species of shark that, you know, it could have been the megalodon that over the years has shrunk or whatever, but a species of shark that comes from the deep that is yet to be discovered. We're not, in popular science we don't realize that these guys exist, and it's believed that they exist quite deep down as well. So, and that's why it's black and it's dark. So if you Google Black Demon a minute, you can get some pictures up, Monty.
I'll have a look.
So it's interesting because that myth comes from, as I say, it's been sighted and reported mostly around the coast of Mexico. So it's giving you a kind of rough estimation of the size of the Black Demon against a Tyrannosaurus Rex. How are we doing on the mics?
Is that better? There's some like.
Oh, Smilers let us know it's better.
Oh, good. Yeah, so that's some like.
So I think the
Like,
one that just a little bit up there, where it's got that'll give you a rough idea of the size of what they reckon from sightings and reportings of the black demon. So it's not meant to be as big as what people would what science would have told us was the size of the megalodon when it was about. It wouldn't be as big as that. It'd be somewhere in the middle.
There's another theory about sharks, only because I've been talking to Rob quite a lot because of our
Excursion.
great white hunt excursion. Lucy, she's like 30 something feet, who's one of the like largest known females. But there is a school of thought that think there are a lot bigger great white sharks down deeper in the South Pacific. You used to see great white sharks of like 40, 50 feet back 100 years ago when they first invented submarines during World War II and they went out in the Pacific. They used to see massive great white sharks all the time. But due to, in the 20th century, them being hunted...
And it's not even just about hunters, it's about taking things away from their diet.
And, messing about with the food... getting rid of what they eat. I think a lot of the big ones died out or went, hunted to extinction. They thought they were all gone, but there is a school of thought that believes that the large sharks just went down to deeper depths, ones that we can't easily find, and the Pacific is a massive place. And also, the deeper the sharks go and live, the longer they live, because their metabolisms slow down, their hearts beat like really slowly.
Yeah. So
a great white, a deep dwelling great white shark can live for hundreds of years. So they think there are massive sharks, not very many of them left, but a number of truly massive great white sharks that roam about deep in the Pacific.
I mean, when you think about it, if they had gone down to that kind of depth, their food source would be, it wouldn't be plentiful, would it? You know, because there isn't, there is definitely life teeming down there, and it's being discovered all the time, new elements of life, but it's not, it's certainly not teeming with as much life as, higher, closer to the surface. But their
metabolism's slow
down, so that would make sense that they don't need as much to keep them.
But that's another school of thought. So it could be a shark. It could be another shark.
Well,
one of the rare giant ones that live deep down in the ocean.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you bring it up because there's something else that happened recently. I think we discussed this when we were talking loosely or very quickly on our cryptozoology show about megalodon. I think we only touched on the subject very, very briefly. But I was, I think it was back then that I was sharing about that incident that happened where, the majority of the great whites that exist in the ocean now are tagged, by certain marine biologists that are doing a lot of, trying to sort of study them and map their movements for all scientific purposes. So there was this one particular shark that was tagged, and it was recorded as climbing down the Marin Trench and got down to something like 3,000 feet. And then all of a sudden its signal just disappeared. Oh no, the temperature of its tag rose by I think it was 19 degrees or something, which at that depth indicates that it probably went into something's stomach. And this was a great white that was 25 foot long that had been tagged, where it's given the assessment by all of a sudden the temperature going up on its tag that it was swallowed whole by something. And the tag eventually turned up, washed up on a beach several months later, and that's how they were able to map where this creature had gone. And the great white had gone pretty much down into the depths and then seemingly just being eaten by something that was bigger than it was, and it was 25 foot great white. So yeah, I definitely think that there's something to this black demon, and the thing about the black demon, if you go into it, and the reason why it resonated with me is because there is a huge amount of like recorded sightings of this shark by fishermen, and it would kind of make sense.
All the shark hunters, just so you know, they generally leave from a place called Ensenada in Baja California in Mexico, and they go out into the Pacific. And here you got the Guadalupe Islands, Isla Guadalupe, and this is where you see the most concentration of great white sharks on the planet. They go up and down this coast during the year, and they like to feed in the shallow seas around Guadalupe. So that's great white capital of the world. But you say the Marinara Trench. For those who want to know where that is, when you look at Google Earth or Google Maps, and you go over towards the Philippines and Japan, you see this like crescent shape here. This is the Marinara.
Like you make me want meatballs.
Marina Trench. Yeah, the deepest. This is the deepest part of the Pacific Ocean. Anyway, that's where it is.
And it's pretty out there in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot around there. So
I just thought, just in case anybody ever wondered where that was, that's where it is. So it goes up. It goes all the way up past Tokyo. You know. Yeah.
So, before I get off the subject, let us know in chat whether you think it's Black Demon Megalodon, or if you've got any other theories, or whether you agree with what we're talking about. Be great to get your thoughts. Mickey says, is it any wonder I don't like deep sea water?
Well, yes, and I'm certainly only staying in a cage off the side of the boat. I'm not going to go swimming deep down like some other people, like Rob is. I'm not doing that.
What's Rob doing?
Well, he's getting his scuba diving certificate so he can go swimming down with them.
What, off the Gulf of Mexico?
Guadalupe, yeah.
My God.
I'm not doing that.
No, don't do that.
I'm staying in the cage beside the boat. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I definitely think that black demon's around there, so be careful.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you know if you're going in a cage?
Yeah, in a cage. Yeah.
Are you going into one of the metal cages? Or are you going into one of the newer perspex ones?
I think it's a metal cage. I don't know entirely.
Okay.
It's actually
very cool if it's the perspex.
There's footage on YouTube of a dive off Guadalupe where the great white gets inside the top of the cage when there's people in it.
Yeah.
And they have to like get the lid off, and there's blood everywhere because the shark cuts itself getting into the cage because it's a small juvenile great white. And they're a bit more frisky, and it managed to bend the bars and get in the top. It's that boat.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's that boat. That's what.
I know the footage that you're talking about, Mickey. I've seen it plenty of times. Mickey said it was trying to find a video of a massive creature spotted on a deep sea oil rig camera. If you're talking about the one that's it's near like a kind of metal box or something, because what's really interesting about it is you watch the footage and it just looks like a normal shark. Is it the one that looks a bit like a basking shark, Mickey? But the main thing is when you watch this footage, I've seen a video of it that you see the footage and then it plays you the footage with a little man figure in it, showing you what size a man would be compared to this box thing that the shark is passing by. So it means that the shark would be huge. Its mouth would be the size of a man, you know.
Right. It would just swallow your whole.
It was huge, but it's very it's not very clear footage. It's and it does look like one of those deep sea sharks, you know, the ones that eat off of the whale carcasses that fall down, but you know, particularly very big. Or Mickey could be talking about there was some footage. I think it was 2-3 years ago now. This weird object off of oil rig. It almost looked like something very alien floating around the legs of the oil rig, and it was sort of morphing and changing shape constantly. It looked like a bit like a weird ass big jellyfish, but just like a sheet of jellyfish. It was just all weird. Anyway, that was kind of interesting. I never really got to find out what the explanation for that one was.
I wonder
but
if it was a shoal of
about.
fish looking at it from a distance.
No, it definitely
because
wasn't.
Because they can like
no, it
balls.
was like a jellyfish. It was like transparent.
It was like transparent.
At times it was like white, you know, and translucent.
Shall I see
just
if I can
a long
find
dark
something?
black shadow. But yes,
what should I try googling for that then?
Yeah, while you're googling for that, I was just going to give it. Whilst we're talking about sharks, I was just going to get a little bit of an update because I know it may not be considered like really paranormal, but obviously cryptozoology, you know, Megalodon definitely fits within the field of cryptozoology. But a few weeks back, when I was doing a G-Star Vault and I was doing the paranormal news section, I think it was the first time done the paranormal news. A story was brought up about the fin off of the coast of Sussex in the UK. Did you see that on the video?
Oops, sorry. This video cannot be loaded. Oh, that's just typical, isn't it? Bloody Daily Mail. Sorry, I haven't seen it, no.
That's it.
The hell is that? Sorry, it's not helping the people at home, is it?
No.
Hang on a minute. Right, hang on. I found something.
Don't think this is the one that Mickey was talking about, but this is the one that I was talking about.
It's the one you were talking about, the Amorphous Blob.
Yes. And remember, this is filmed with a live cam on an oil rig.
I wonder if it's oil.
Could be.
In the current. You know, because oil and water don't mix.
Mm.
Do you think it's a blob of oil?
Could be. I never really found out what they gave as an explanation of this. There was certain people that said that it looked like just some sort of like large organism that would just
like a colony of bacteria. Well, that's really weird looking though.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one. That's weird.
The thing is, I think if you keep watching, I don't know how long it goes on for, but when it goes to move away, it moves away quite quickly. So in terms of your theory about
oil... that doesn't look like oil, does it?
No,
that's got like skin, like that's an actual thing. Look, there's organs. It's some sort of giant jellyfish. As you say, it is a jellyfish, isn't it? I mean, you can see the pattern on its skin, look.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was... Wow. It's fair to say I've not ever seen anything like that.
It's extremely weird, and it just really poses that question about the deep, you know, and about the fact that we can say that so much of it is unexplored.
It really does look alien, doesn't it?
And we don't know what's down there, and sometimes those things that are down there occasionally may come up further up to the surface, and because it was only recently that they caught a really good, a really big-sized giant squid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That thought to be rumoured that they could ever be that size, and then we go and catch one by accident.
Sorry, I'm mesmerised.
It's very strange, isn't it?
So yeah.
Maz says it's beautiful.
That's incredible.
Mickey's just put the Gulf of Mexico sea creature.
Okay, I will.
You can keep watching this.
They can still watch this.
Okay. Anyway, so as I was saying, a few G-Star Vaults ago, I did a little insert within the paranormal news that was sharing a picture that had been taken by a beach walker off the coast of Sussex, which showed a fin in the water, right? And this fin was looked at by shark experts, and shark experts instantly said, that's great white off the coast of Sussex, right? However, there were disagreeing parties. There were people that had said, or there was quote on the articles that I seen from counsellors that had said that it was a pipe coming from a buoy. But these are counsellors, and the person that I mentioned first time was a shark expert. So I think a shark expert would know what a great white fin looks like, right? So that's where I left the story. Just a quick, here's the picture of the shark fin. And since then, a couple of miles down the coast last week...
You're not on...
Oops, sorry. So a couple of weeks ago, a couple of miles down from where this fin was photographed, there was a dolphin that washed up onto the beach with its head bitten off, right? So instantly, certain experts started saying, well, let's not all, get dramatic about this, because ultimately, even small sea creatures can take nibbles out of things, and it can make it look like it's a big bite, but it's not a big bite, if you know what I mean. It's just loads of things have nibbled away at it. So they were saying, let's not instantly jump to the conclusion, because we saw a fin a few weeks ago, that this is a shark that's bitten a dolphin's head off. And the general explanation was leaning towards it was lots of little creatures that took a nibble out of this dolphin. 2 days later, a little bit further down the coast, another dolphin with its head bitten off washes up.
Why just the head?
Don't know.
The shark really has it in for dolphins. I would have bought your head off.
Yeah, I would bite your head off. But it's interesting. So I just wanted to update and add to that, because it's not something that I had updated on the vault. So I just thought I'd share that if you want to go and look into that and some of the stuff that's going on there. But it's looking very interesting. But yeah, this footage is cray, right?
It just disappeared.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to say, that it's definitely not oil.
Oh no, it's definitely like a jellyfish. A massive jellyfish. Weird.
And you don't know about just, because we see, what do they call them? We see birth defects in humans and oddities in humans. And I guess the same thing can happen in the animal and sea life kingdom, right? That you can get these weird, it could have been some weird jellyfish that was birthed a shape that it wasn't meant to be and has just continued to grow because it's...
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So
crazy
do you
stuff.
know what it is? It is a huge jellyfish. It's at 5,000 feet. Yeah. A deep steria reticulum jellyfish. Yeah, rare, very rare. Anyway, that was very cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Sorry, did you have a look for that footage that Mickey was going on about, the Gulf of Mexico sea creature?
No, that was that one.
Oh,
he was telling me how to find it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. What was that shark one? Was there a photo for the?
Well, yeah. If you just Google Surrey Great White, I guess, or Great White photographed off of Surrey.
Great White.
No, that didn't help. Try and maybe put shark.
It's shown as pelicans. There must be a type of pelican. No, that's not helped either, is it?
Or you could go to the G-Star font that I talked about it, but there you go.
Oh, there you go.
First
That
Great
one.
White pictured off. Sorry.
Here we go. We got it. Yes, I agree. Get rid of the bloody... Right.
For those of you that are keeping up with G-Star Vault, unlike Monte, you'll have seen this picture before.
I have seen it. There's a boy.
Yes.
It's not in this shot, but there's a boy up.
There's a shot lower down that's got the boy in it.
See, I know it. That's a person.
surfing.
There you go. There you can see the buoy.
Yeah, so there was one councillor that commented, or somebody from the local Surrey council, or someone that said that it's a pipe coming off of that buoy, but again,
It's not a pipe.
no, that's a fin, and you can clearly see it's a fin. What it's a fin of, that's the big question. You know, because we have plenty of sharks in the UK waters.
Yeah,
but
some quite big ones.
yeah, but the way that it was moving, and you know, as I say, shark experts have looked at this and said that that's a juvenile great white or a mako.
Mako. Yeah.
Or a large mako. So yeah, very interesting. But as I said, I did that whole bit, and then since
Makos are like a streamlined great white, aren't they? They're sort of thinner.
yeah, they're I think they're classified as a reef shark makos,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they look very similar to great whites in terms of coloration, but their mouth is very different. If you look at a makos, its teeth are all like small and all over the place and very jagged, whereas you've got less teeth on a great white and they're bigger. Yeah. But yeah, since I did the video, I hadn't shared or updated the fact that these dolphins are appearing in the same region, just in the same coastline, that are washing up with their head bitten off or head missing.
It's a great white that likes heads.
Heads of dolphins.
Yeah.
As you put it, here you dolphin.
They give good head.
Oh no!
Sorry, I couldn't help.
Oh, I do apologise, everybody.
Oh, that's why he likes them. Yeah. Anyway, on that bombshell. Is
that note,
is that the end of our sea
that's
diving?
the end of our aquatic journey.
End of our
I guess.
aquatic side of the of the water zone.
Yeah, I can't remember what was next. What was next? Oh yeah,
was it Bigfoot?
oh yeah. We're gonna get back to one of our favourite subjects here on the vault, and that's Bigfoot. What I wanted to do, this is a bit of an experiment. Let's see how good you guys are at investigating in your investigative techniques. I know that Mickey's been stretching his investigative skills recently, so it'd be interesting to get everybody's viewpoint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Monte to play this footage for you. Not going to say anything about it yet. Not going to tell you anything about it.
Is that the TikTok one?
This is the TikTok one. And then I just want to get your guys' viewpoints. Tell me what you're seeing about this footage.
Right, hopefully you can all see that. Here we go.
That's it.
We can let it just play out in the background there. I can turn the sound off.
So let us know in chat, what are your initial thoughts looking at this footage? Is there anything that you're seeing that makes you think, wow, this looks really genuine? Or is there something that you're seeing that makes you think, do you know what, this looks really hoaxy?
Don't worry if there was no sound to that smile. It was really just the sound of a car engine. So there was nothing. There was nothing on it. Sorry, what was your question?
And what's your thoughts as well? Not just
okay.
So,
no.
what are you seeing? And what's good about it or bad about it?
I have some things that are bad about it.
Go on.
Right. One. He's driving whilst holding a camera phone. That's, I think, illegal. So that man should be arrested. Also,
don't discount a GoPro on his head though.
It's not tall enough. It's like literally just over the steering wheel.
Okay, but I'm just saying, don't discount.
And you don't use That is zoomed in on the camera phone, not on the not in post production. Because it would have been a lot smoother. That's someone going whoop like that. So he's driving along. He knows that thing's going to be there because he's got his camera phone out ready. He spots it where it is. He zooms in on it. I mean, to do all that and drive at the same time is quite a complicated. To do it safely and not crash. It's quite a complicated scenario. So it was just to me one that would need premeditation.
So you think it's premeditated and staged?
Yes.
Good.
That would be my guess.
Anything else in chat? Anybody else? So Mickey said a big guy in a coat. He's probably looking for fuel for his RV.
Because there's some RVs there. Yeah. There's some RVs. I don't know if I can just pause it on that. I didn't get to the thing in time. And on this TikTok thing, you can't. On this app, you can't.
It's very difficult.
You can't control it, so you have to. If you miss it, you're going to wait.
What you have to do is download it as a video, and then you can manipulate it, which is what I've done in the past. What manipulate it as in you can do then things like zoom, crop, etc. So Mickey says it's a bit navy blue. So I'll tell you a little bit of a story, Monty, about what I did with this footage. So last time I can't remember if it was the last time we were doing a Bigfoot show. I was saying about how I joined Team Thinker Thunker.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I thought I'd do is initially when I watched this video, I had my initial thoughts. So I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna make sure I'm not the only one who's thinking this. So I dropped it as a post on Team Thinker Thunker to see what everybody else on there thought. The overriding opinion was that this was terribly hoaxed and faked, which is what I thought from the get-go. But I just wanted to kind of throw it out there to sort of... It always interests me, especially, like, I know this sounds insidious, and if anybody's watching from Team Thinker Thunker, but I just wanted to make sure that I was part of the right group. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a couple of things that have been posted on there recently, which straight away I'm instantly dubious of, but then other people have sort of bought into it. So I wanted to make sure that I was part of a credible group that weren't just going to swallow anything. So I felt that this is a really bad example of somebody hoaxing some footage, and I'll talk a little bit more detail about what my problems are. Some of it Monty's already mentioned, some of it you guys mentioned in chat. But the overriding opinion was that everybody thought it was, a load of pants. So there's a couple of things here. First of all, the thing that stands out to me.
I've messed it up. Sorry, carry on.
Oh, we got Kevin's joined the house.
Hey
Kevin, to catch you up, new format, we're trying to be in the same space, so we're both in the Monte zone, and I did a bit of a speech at the beginning of the episode. Please go back and watch it. It did a little bit of a big thank you to yourself, and
you were name dropped.
Yeah, name dropped, and talking about, I just wanted to say a big thank you for your support for the channel and always commenting and watching the videos. So it's great to see you come along and join us on this Friday night. Excuse me. So getting back into what I was saying. So first of all, driving along but very slowly, right, is the first thing that kind of makes you dubious.
Yeah.
The fact that why would anybody drive along the road slowly, come across that, and then turn their camera to the side whilst they're driving and slow down but not stop?
And they were already filming with their mobile phone before they got there.
Yeah.
Why?
And also, I don't think the zoom is actually... I think there's some editing that's gone into this, because when you see the camera turning to the side, but then when you get to the zoom in, it's at a completely different position. So I think certain things have been edited out. Do I think that this is a person? No, I actually think that this is, if you travel around, certainly the Pacific Northwest of the States, where we know that Bigfoot is very popular in terms of sightings and recordings, etc. There's a lot of places where there's actually models or
Like scarecrows.
of Bigfoot that have been put around to kind of remind everybody that this is an
Bigfoot
area.
country.
Yeah, this is Bigfoot country, and it's believed that I think that this is what this thing is, and it's somebody who's just seen it. Because actually, within anything, they don't say, "Oh, I took a snap of Bigfoot." They just like called it. What's it called? And the video is called
Scary. Oh no. What is it called?
"My Name Is Elaine."
That's the person that posted it.
Oh yeah.
What do you think? That's
Yeah.
what she said.
And then it's hashtag Sasquatch,
Yeah.
Bigfoot, Yeti. But, it's not somebody saying, I filmed this Bigfoot.
No.
What do you think?
She's driven by it a couple of times and thought she'll film it.
Yeah. Or he or she, whoever, could be
Well-
a gentleman Elaine.
It looks female,
Yeah.
but you never can tell.
But it may not have been her that filmed it.
No, that's true.
Could have been somebody else.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yes, there was that. I do believe that actually, if you play it again, you could. I do think there's editing in it. Certainly when you then, because what I was trying to do is I was trying to capture a zoomed in shot of the face. I actually downloaded it from TikTok, and then that allows me to do some zooming and cropping, etc.
Yeah.
And so. But I just wanted to see how awake everybody was, and I want to test whether our audience are good at spotting a hoax as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Be interesting to see if we knew where this road was. We could drop a
Google
Street
Street
view
view,
of it,
and then see if it's definitely there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't say. And again, this is
I don't
one
think
of the
there's no
downsides,
signposts, is there, or anything like that?
unfortunately, of TikTok, that you don't really get much of an explanation.
I mean, it's America, isn't it? By those things. All you get is the back of a sign. There's nothing to indicate where it is.
But this is why, I know I've said it before, but, being an open-minded skeptic, you've got to kind of not get washed away by... I'm getting attacked by a chewy.
He's trying to give you a croc.
Yeah.
You've always wanted a croc.
Thanks. Can I have a croc? Can I have the croc? Can I have it? I've got the croc, see? Here's the croc.
You want your croc back? There you
Go
go.
get it. Yeah. So sometimes I look at things like this and it does upset me and does anger me that there's people out there that are doing
Yeah, sure.
such, rubbish things that kind of pollute the phenomena. And that's why I'm happy to call them out when I see them as well, because I think people need to and not be afraid of calling somebody a hoaxer, because if you're going to hoax and you're going to make it blatantly that bad, then you need to be called out for what you are.
Kevin said the video should be called "I Got Scared by Wurzel Gummidge." It's like a scarecrow. You see scarecrows like that around Cornwall. Farmers put them in their fields. Just to make people laugh as they go by.
You just knew it was going to be wrong from the moment you seen it. There's some very similar footage to this with a guy on a skateboard. Now that one wasn't as bad, but again, you have to ask yourself on that one, why did he all of a sudden pan the camera to the left? And you really need to watch what the people are doing with the camera, because ultimately, if it's not something you've designed and it's not something you've staged, why do you know to stick the camera there? Unless you've seen something. But the problem is, there is sound with this video. I know it didn't come through when we played it, but it's not like the person in the car's going, "Oh my God, what's that? Oh my Jesus, oh my," it's just, there's nothing. It's just the sound of the engine.
Yeah, I don't know why that didn't come through. It should have done. Is that not coming through? No, you can't. The sound's not coming through for some reason.
Could be doing something.
It's just something to do with this TikTok app.
Could be something to do with the fact that it's not one of the sounds from TikTok. It's somebody's from their own account,
Yeah.
so they're not allowing me to use it.
It should be playing through desktop audio though. I don't know why. I think it's just something weird. Something weird. Anyway. So, yeah, so that's it's interesting, G. Thanks for showing that to us. So, yeah, a good example of, you know, an obvious hoax.
Good example of crap. Let's not let.
I was going to say that.
Good example of crap.
I was going to say
But
good
you know
example
what you
of
have
bollocks.
to bring. You will find that we will do that on the show, and I'll do that on the Vault as well, because I think we have to do that, because we have to remind ourselves of what is out there that's crap. Yeah. And as I said, for me, it pollutes the phenomena when there's actually things that are of a lot more interest and seem a lot more genuine. I'm pushing and pushing and pushing for Thinker Thunker to do an analysis on the video that I did for the short on Bigfoot.
Right, yeah.
And Miss Thinker Thunker messaged me the other day, this is very exciting, to say, could you share the original video without that funny guy in front? Obviously they don't know it's me, but I shared my short with them, and they were like, oh, we want the pure original footage but without the funny guy in front. So I sent them a post with the original footage, and that's the one where I think that if it is somebody hoaxing it, then it's got to be an extremely tall person that's hoaxing it, because I think it's a minimum 7.5 foot. So yeah, the Thinker Thunker may end up doing a breakdown of that, but he takes a long time to do his videos, so he may be working on that for now, like right now, for all I know.
Maybe you got the guy. It's the first officer on Discovery.
First off,
He's really tall.
oh yes,
He wears like hoof
well, I think
leg extenders.
I think I'm being very conservative in saying 7.5 foot on that video. Actually, I think it's more like I can just remember the first time I watched that video, I was like, oh my god, that thing is tall. But I don't know if you've seen the footage.
Yeah, I think so. Is it in one of your? I've seen them all. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I've seen.
So now
Is that the one where you like compare it to the size of the tree?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Well, not compare it by the size of the tree, but you
No,
can
but
see.
you kind of like you draw a random line on a tree and go, that's a meter. I'm like, how do you know that?
Well, because basically you can look at the girth of the tree, right? And then
There's some trees that are thin and some trees that are really
yeah,
fat.
but you also then got to look at the distance of the camera. Like, you know, if you start to look at these sorts of things, you get a sense that something can't be that far away from the camera person and seem like it's that big. Like you were trying to point out something the other day on some other footage where you were saying, well, maybe those look like big plants, but they're actually just really small plants. And I get you that is very much the case. But on that particular footage, if you go back and look at it, there's no way that tree isn't that wide, at least. So if it's that wide and you're looking at the base of the tree, then you can start to roughly work out the size of the height based on the width.
It's difficult because you don't know how the camera was set up and its focal point and things. You know, like in horror films, when it gets to a tense scene and the camera, like, either zooms into or pulls away from a person's face, and the background seems to go in the opposite direction to the camera, because they zoom out and pull away, or zoom in and pull away at the same time. So the person's face stays relatively still, but the backdrop goes backwards.
Yeah.
So at one end of that scene, you've got a door and a window behind the person that's big and there. But by the end of the scene, you've got a door and window that seems a lot further behind in the background because of the zoom and focal point of the camera's changed.
Yeah.
So it really depends on you can't really tell.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but on this particular footage, it would only be one way that it could go if it was zoomed, because if the camera person wasn't at the distance from the tree that I think the camera person is at, it means that they zoomed in. And if they zoomed in, the tree's even bigger than what I think it is. So there's no way that it could be a zoom out situation. So I do think that, yeah. But it'd be interesting. This is why I want Thinker Thunker to look at it, because he's much better at doing that sort of thing than I am. I'm a novice compared to him. So, it would be definitely interesting to see that happening. So fingers crossed that happens.
Yeah. Supposedly that TikTok was in central Pennsylvania. Right. Leave that with me, Mickey. I'm an investigator of roads. I love Street View and what do you call it? GeoGuessr. You ever played GeoGuessr?
No.
It's a game you can play online where it drops you somewhere on Street View, and you have to guess where in the world you are.
Oh, interesting.
And it gives you a map. You got to put a pin, and you get points for how close you are to the GeoGuessr. Great game, love it. But I will find that road.
And then we will feature it in the next live stream podcast, and we'll give you an update, and we'll definitely show you if it is a Bigfoot scarecrow sitting out there. So anyway, going on to, I wanted to really, Monte, get your opinions on, UFO filmed live on the news.
Ooh, I know that one.
And, I know that we've got a few people in chat that are joining us now that I know have seen the video and shared your comments and shared your thoughts. I wanted to chat to Monte about this one because I've not really talked to you about it, have I?
No.
Not. We haven't discussed it off air.
I've actually got it up here anywhere. Oh, it's that one.
And, it's the first G-Star Vault that I've done. And again, big thanks to Mickey, because Mickey was the one who actually originally posted this to me. So if it wasn't for him, I would have never have seen it. But as I started looking into this, for the first time ever, I felt like a proper investigator. And I felt like, actually, I want to go to this location and I want to continue that investigation. Even if, as I've said in the video plenty of times, even if it's to find out to find a logical explanation for it. Because there might be a logical explanation for it rather than something paranormal or supernatural. So, but anyway.
Should we have a little look at the video?
Yeah, if you want.
There's not really any audio. Yeah.
No, this is the wrong piece of footage.
So this is not
This
it.
is about an orb. This is about an apparition.
Oh.
Which is also interesting. Something I didn't feature in the video, but something else that come up. But I looked at that and yeah.
Did you email me a link to it?
No. Because I just wanted to discuss it with you. I thought you'd watched it.
Oh, I haven't got it up then. Hang on.
You could just bring up the G-Star Vault.
Oh, okay. It gives us a view as well. Hang on. Bear with us. I do apologise. Bear with us, caller.
So let's see what you guys are saying in chat. So,
which one is it?
So Kevin's asked, am I going to do a live stream from Porthcawl?
Right. There we go. Yes, we are. Yes, let's do that.
Well, I was thinking we could do something really clever because the live stream cam there is running all the time. So what I want to do is I want to actually record us, get somebody at home that we get on the phone and say, right, we're in front of the camera. Now you go on the live stream camera and record it and record us, and we can feature that in one of our live stream episodes with us actually standing there waving at the camera.
Here we go. I don't know why, but it's not picking up the audio at the moment. It's still not picking up the audio.
Okay, so
I don't know why.
That aren't familiar, there is a webcam.
Oh, did I miss it?
Based in
Oh, there you go. There you go. That was it. You'll see it again here, look. So it does. Oh, you can see another little trail there, look.
Yeah.
So that was it. And that was on GMTV on ITV, wasn't it? Or Good Morning Britain.
Yeah, so it was live on TV. So kind of instantly puts away the fact that somebody's doctored it. It's not CGI, it's not whatever.
Yeah.
Which makes me really laugh because Ben Shepherd says two things that are a little bit idiotic. And he says, "Oh, shooting stars." And then he says, "Oh, I think somebody's done some digital magic there." It's like, how do you do digital magic on a live RNL live cam. A bit of a silly comment, really, but yeah, there you go.
But it turns out that that's not the first time that this camera has displayed weird artifacts like that.
Yeah, I mean, you just showed a snap of an apparition, which you guys can go and look at if you want to.
There's another shot.
That's who Mickey shared with me, and I've been able to find this slightly better footage, which gives you a better look at that I'm playing in slow motion in the background.
It does seem to hit the water here and then go sideways.
Yeah.
You
Things that people are saying. One of the things that comes up is micro meteorites.
No.
I struggle with that one because when you look at the trajectory...
It's the audio coming up, guys.
No, it's not.
No.
And here's another one of the same camera from the same pier.
Yeah.
And you can see these weird artifacts.
I think it was the 2020 footage that was filmed, or was it the 2019? I can't remember. One of them was filmed in Storm Sierra,
Right.
and then the other one was filmed in Storm Eunice. So we've got two pieces of footage showing similar type of phenomena that both took place during major storms. So the reason why I think that that's important is because
I know why. Sorry.
you have to think about whether that then provides you with an explanation, because there's something that happens within those weather conditions that's causing that to happen on the camera. But however, the third bit of footage where it happens is not during a storm.
Tell me, have you got sound now?
Caster who says that it's possibly shooting stars. I don't know shooting stars that give
Working
off,
now. Sorry, that was my fault.
Kind of like
I usually wear my headphones, so the audio was set to my headphones, not the speakers. Do apologise for that.
There you go.
Anyway.
problem solved.
Yeah. I think it's the 2020 one and the 2019 one are even weirder, especially like the beginning of the 2020 one, because
Check these pieces of footage.
you can see them as kind of like hit the ground there and go sideways. There's one that seems to even bounce off the.
Yeah.
It almost like seems to like bounce off the
Ferry. The pier.
the very pier. Yeah. I don't think that is the case. I think it might be just a coincidence, but it looks like it does. But it's just weird, isn't it? It's difficult to tell also what it is we're looking at, because the grainy quality is so bad of the camera that it kind of makes it look artificial.
So
as well.
apologies, I
It's
said
really
the years
grainy.
wrong. So it was 2000.
Anyway,
Yeah, and as I said in the video, it's really, really frustrating. When I was doing the initial research for this, I found a piece of footage where it shows, similar to what we've seen on all of these footage, but you see the pier, if you look straight ahead to the end, there is some footage that I saw where you then see a light orb come from the actual ocean surface and then go up in the sky. So it looked like something that had come out of the water and gone up. Now, I have gone back again and again, even as recent as last night. I was sat down in my cabin and desperately trying to search for this piece of footage, because I think that piece of footage that I remember seeing was, again, not filmed in night vision. And I can't find it. And the only thing I can think of is that it doesn't have a title that relates to something weird. So I've been like searching strange light orb in Porthcawl, blah, 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 different things like that. And I can only think that when I was looking at one of these other pieces of footage, it connected me to some RNLI footage, and I can't find it. But what's really interesting is that, a lot of people initially said that they thought it was insects.
where is it?
Porthcawl's in Wales. It's spelled. There you go.
Sorry, I'm just having. I'm having a little nose to see where it is in Google Maps. So.
But I do want us to go there. Whether that's.
Thank you, Chewy. He
There
just
you go.
dropped his bone.
Dropped his bone.
Yeah, I do want us to go there, either if it's together or myself alone, but I want to try and seek both if I can find a logical explanation for this, or whether, I can find some footage that equally adds.
There's the camera.
Right.
That camera looks out along here, I guess. I guess this is where it is.
I think it's moved several times in its history. I'm not 100% certain. But,
Well, that is the RNLI lifeboat building. So, I mean that
in that building.
Well, that's where it is at the moment, or at least from that's 2019. Actually, we don't have another street view, so it might have moved. I don't think it moved to that building because that building's off to the side. It's definitely that building. So yeah, but yeah, if you want to go here, this is where it is.
I mean, I've been around the houses. I started thinking, well, maybe it's kids with laser pens, but then, what kids are going to sit out in the middle of a horrendous storm, throwing laser pens at the sea, and but also if you go back and look at all the three pieces of footage together, there's movement that's in it that just wouldn't be a laser pen. Do you know what I mean? So it's trying to find a reasonable explanation for it.
It does look like a laser pen,
Well, some of them do, and some of them don't.
Some of the swishy,
when it goes like that and then off into the distance.
Yeah, but there's multiple of them.
And when it bounces off the
you'd
thing.
have to have people with many laser pens.
Yeah.
Why would you be stood at the end of a pier with lots of different laser pens in a storm?
And even if it's insects that are minute, there's certain movements in there that even insects don't move like that. It's all right, I don't want my crown jewels. It's all right, Chewy.
Chewy's just sniffing G's, The thing is, he hasn't been done, so, he's interested in all
Yeah. Is he on camera there?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's
trying to get on the screen.
Chewy's very excited that G is here this evening. He's just excited to have new people in the house. Doesn't happen often, does it, Chewy? No. Smiler, I don't know if you're around, whether you want to come and rescue G.
Are you watching, Smiler?
Oh, dear.
So, yeah, I know you guys gave us your comments to the original videos, but, have you had any further thoughts? Let us know what you think. What do you think overall?
I have to admit, I don't know. It is, unidentifiable. But, if it was my best guess, I would say there's something wrong with the camera. Something wrong with the image when it's stormy and there's lots of pixels changing. In the receiver in the camera, it causes some glitch, causes artifact.
Is there a hotel? Oh, there's an inn. There's a saltwater inn.
Is that where we're staying? Saltwater
we
Inn.
can go and stay there, and that'll put us in close. Because I think if we were going to do a proper investigation on this, we need to film during the day and we need to film during the night, because several of the pieces of the footage were taken at night. Yeah. So we need to see if we can capture certain bits on there. But as I said, there's also that apparition thing out there, which again doesn't look similar to the same thing that you've seen on the other three. For me, I just think that one is actually something on the camera. I think it's like a drip of water slowly moving down the camera and being moved around by wind on the camera lens. But I can't give that explanation for the other three pieces of footage. And that's what's interesting about this one, because, we can't sit here, I don't know about you, but I can't sit here and explain it.
No.
But yet it's recorded on live TV.
Yeah.
So I know it's not hoax.
It's not
hoax.
It's not a digital.
It's CGI.
It's not CGI. Oh dear. It's not CGI. I don't think it's done maliciously, because it's an RNLI camera. It doesn't look like it was created by lasers or anything. I can't see how that could be done. It almost seems like, I say, artificial disturbance on the imaging of the camera, but I don't know. Or it could be, who knows? Who knows what it is?
That's why I need to try and find that other piece of footage as well, because I think if you saw that one, I think, again, your opinion might shift a little bit in terms of that one about the camera interference. But yes, so there you go.
That was another interesting one. Thank you for Mickey Early for highlighting that one as a.
In all honesty, I mean it 100% genuine. I feel that was the first one where some of all of this stuff that I've been doing and watching these hours and hours of videos and photographs and whatever, and trying to learn off of other people the best way to break stuff down, to divulge it. For the first time ever, I was really feeling quite investigative, and being able to kind of cross things off, indicate whether things still have a question mark over them. But it felt like a proper investigation, and I want that investigation to continue.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to make a trip. There.
Yeah.
Our next trip away.
So I've got one more thing of Bigfoot, but ultimately I know you had something that you
had
put
some
together.
before we do another proper one.
I think we should close on that. So
Close on the
before
Bigfoot.
we get into close on this.
Oh.
No, I think we'll keep the Bigfoot one for another time. I need to get a bit of a better breakdown of it, to be honest with you, and I only looked at it literally about 45 minutes before we came on air. So I'd rather come at that one with a little bit more of an analysis. But before we get into this section that Monty's going to take us through now, which is really interesting, just kind of, because we'll probably be, the stream will be closing down in about 10 or 15 minutes. So can you just let us know in chat what you think about this format? Do you prefer us being together in the zone, or do you like the format that we were doing before? What works better for you guys? It's all about you guys, and your feedback is really important to us.
Absolutely. This last thing's not really paranormal.
I think it fits under the category of strange, though.
It's strange how we perceive time and what that means to us.
And we did an episode recently, not that long ago, about time travel.
Yeah, and this is just some weird historical facts that warp your sense of time. So, yeah, there's 50 of them. I'm not going to read out all 50 because we'll be here all night. But I'll read out a few of them that I thought were really interesting. The first one is that, when do you think the last guillotine execution took place in France? Because I can tell you the last...
Like question time.
Yeah, the last guillotine...
Put your answers in chat.
Yeah, put your answers in chat without looking it up. The last guillotine execution in France happened the same year as Star Wars was released. So, 1977. So, guillotining came to an end in France the same year Star Wars was in the cinema. Which, I just thought that to begin with was an interesting fact. And the second one, what do you think was interesting?
Do I think that one was interesting? I was shocked when you told me earlier on. I was like, literally, well, I guess it's the era that we were born in, because I was born in around that same time.
Yeah.
And to think that people were still having their head chopped off via guillotine around the time that I was alive, it shocked me.
There was a public execution as well.
Jesus.
Yeah, in France.
Just to add, in chat, Mickey's put that he's just found another video of the Porthcawl lights.
Oh.
So I've just asked him to email it to you.
Righto.
And so if that email comes through,
Can
we have a look at it? Carry on with what you're doing. We'll come back to it in a minute.
I've got my emails up, so if I see that, or are you gonna WhatsApp it to me? I better bring my WhatsApp.
And also, Kevin's asked for our investigation of Porthcawl. Have we got an infrared camera? Sometimes you see things normal cameras can't.
I don't have an infrared camera. I've got a GoPro.
We've got friends, though, we can ask about and see if anybody's got We might ask Dan to meet us there. Dan might have a...
How much are infrared cameras?
are you asking me to hazard a guess?
I'm just wondering if the Monte's own budget can stretch.
Well, maybe Dan's got one, because I was just thinking Dan's near that neck of the woods. We could say,
Yeah,
do you
Dan.
want to come along
Yeah,
and
yeah,
join
yeah.
us for the
Yeah.
live investigation?
Yeah, absolutely. You can rent them. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's not a bad idea either.
I don't think he's saying you can rent them. He's saying, can you
Okay.
rent them?
I don't know. Possibly. My next time warping fact, while we're talking about this, is Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire.
That's crazy. Again, when you said that, I was like, that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
I thought Aztec civilization came from like around the similar time of the Egyptians and BC. But no, because it was the undiscovered world back then.
Yeah.
So hit us with the facts.
So, Oxford University has been around in some form since 1096. It was actually ratified and officially recognised as a universitas in 1231. The Aztec Empire was established around 1430, some 200 years after Oxford University was officially recognised as a university.
Yeah, and I guess if you know your history, you know that Aztec came after Inca. Like Inca was a lot older than Aztec. Aztec was, I think, if memory serves me correct, about 400 or 500 years, and then it split out into several other tribes like Navajo and things like that came from an Aztec background. And Aztec was very much like Mexico and the very south part, like Texas, California, Arizona.
Yeah, Aztec's about 600 years old.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Spain was a fascist dictatorship when Microsoft was invented. When Microsoft started selling Windows, Spain was a fascist dictatorship.
I never knew that Spain was a fascist dictatorship.
Yeah, under Marco,
So what? When would this have been?
1975. Which is the year Spain became a free country. Which is why our parents, when they were younger, started going to Spain for the first time.
So I didn't even know that. If somebody asked me, that's
Yeah.
I always thought if somebody said to me, "How's your history?" I'd go, "Yeah, pretty good."
Of the fascist dictatorships of the 20th century, Hitler, Mussolini, Franco of Spain was the last one to fall in the 70s.
Crazy.
Yeah. This one you might not know. This one, Kevin say Franco. Mayans, I think, were older.
Yeah, mine's definitely older.
Yeah. Anybody know Vincent van Gogh's masterpiece, The Starry Night? It's a famous piece of art. I don't know if you've heard of.
Yeah, I know. It's got like a shooting star in it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vincent van Gogh's masterpiece, The Starry Night, was created after Nintendo became a company.
What?
Vincent van Gogh painted Starry Night in 1889, a year after, or the same year that Nintendo formed as a corporation. Nintendo formed in 1889, at the beginning of 1889, and made playing cards. Like, a standard deck of cards. Nintendo were a playing cards manufacturer.
Same company as they are
Same
now.
company, yeah.
So if you were to research Nintendo now, it would say established in
1889, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's freaky.
Yeah. Yep.
Long live company.
It's
Jesus.
been around for a long time. Yeah. Slavery wasn't abolished until after the 6th generation iPod.
What, slavery?
Yeah. That's because Mauritania was the last country to make slavery illegal. But they didn't do that until, I think, 2006 or something.
Strange.
Yeah. There was a couple more. I just wanted to... Woolly mammoths were still roaming the earth when the Egyptians built the Great Pyramids.
Well, I knew that one.
Did you know that one?
Yeah.
For some time, because they were built around 2500 BC, around 4,500 years ago. Woolly mammoths existed in the tundras of what do you call that? Siberia, to around 1650 BC.
Yeah, I'm loosely aware of something, and when I say happened recently, I mean in the last sort of decade or so. But I think there was some remains or something found of a woolly mammoth that then revealed that they didn't die out as early on as what was initially thought, because what was found in its stomach was something that wasn't around until much later on, as some sort of agriculture. But yeah, so I kind of loosely knew
It's
that
a lot
on
more
basis.
recent than I thought, to be honest. I didn't realise it was that recent. But, yeah, LJ's liking the us chatting in person. LJ's all for it. Yeah. He's got the house to himself.
Yeah, loving it.
Loving it. Yeah.
Yeah, get me out of the house for a few hours, right?
Was it Picasso that had to leave Spain because of one of his paintings? Quite possibly. I don't know.
Mickey's emailed the vid, by the way.
Oh, have you? Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh, Kevin's just posted really... Oh.
Hang on. Right, I'm bringing up the video.
I didn't even know that, Kevin. I've never seen any cave paintings where that's been depicted, so it'd be good to see them. He's just put a comment saying, do you think humans and dinosaurs existed together because there is cave paintings of them together?
Ooh. Oh, I didn't realise I wiped chat out. Whoops. Sorry about that. Apologies. I'm sure someone there is probably Smiling Rainbow's going chat.
So I'm excited to see this.
Right, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, it's very white.
Oh my god.
It's very stormy, isn't it?
Mickey, if you got a date on this one, that'd be great to know as well.
I haven't seen anything. Did I miss something?
I saw something at the beginning.
At the very beginning?
Yeah, but don't go back yet.
It's very long. It's 20 minutes long.
Oh. He said it goes mad towards the end, so maybe take it towards the end. Yeah, Smiler's just put in chat window.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, 20-second mark, and then it's all nuts at about 1 minute 20, he said.
20-second mark. What?
No, so he said, so yeah, 20-second mark, which is the one that I said I saw.
Oh,
at the
that was the
beginning,
first one.
And it's off in the distance.
It's here, isn't it?
Yeah. And then, which is great actually, because this adds really good.
I didn't see it.
Because you definitely get a sense of it being in the distance.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then he said that there's another activity at 1 minute 20.
A 1 minute 20?
But I think we watched into 1 minute 20.
Oh, hang on.
Let's see.
Oh, there. Something drops into the sea. Look, you see that? There was stuff there. There is stuff.
It's weird, isn't it?
Oh, one went up
Unless it's debris.
there. Look at it. Look at
Oh
it
my
all.
god. Wonder if it's some sort of fish
What, that flies around the camera?
yeah, glows. But it's weird that, again, this is in quite rough
at it.
weather.
How did we miss that a minute ago? Oh, we didn't watch it that far, I don't think. I don't know.
Holy
Holy moly, they're coming from everywhere.
The hell is it?
I don't care what it is. They're quite pretty.
It's like a firework display
Yeah.
during a storm on a camera. What was that? Was there another one? Or was that?
No, that was it.
What was it? Thank you, Mickey. That was great.
Could you email that on to me?
Yes,
Because I'll add that to...
I will do. That's going straight in the vault.
yeah, and Mickey, again, thank you for finding that. How you managed to find that, I don't know, but if you wouldn't mind continuing to support me looking for the... I know I'm not making it up. I saw a piece of footage. It wasn't very long, but there's a piece of footage where you see something coming out of the water, but centrally further off in the distance. So if anybody's able to find that anywhere out there on the internet, please share it with me. But I think the next stage of this investigation is going to have to be to go there in person. Might have to wait for the fuel prices to go down.
Yeah, we've got to go there, G. It's yeah.
We got to go there because it's not like
Go
it's
in.
a world away, is it?
No, only take a few hours on the car.
And it'd be worth the investigation. And as I said, I'd be like happy just to find out a real logical explanation for it. And yeah,
I've got a couple more of these.
Yeah.
A couple more of these. Vitamins. Vitamins were discovered. The whole concept of vitamins were discovered the same year the Titanic sank.
and the Titanic sank in 1917,
1912.
1912.
Close. So before 1912, which is
Nobody
only just
knew
over
about
100 years,
vitamins.
nobody knew about vitamins.
Wow.
20th century is amazing. It was an amazing century, wasn't it? Really?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Like, before 100 years ago, like, we didn't know nothing.
you can understand. Like, it's weird, isn't it? Because I was watching Vikings of Valhalla. Smiler, if you didn't know about it already, there's a program out that is based on Vikings, made by somebody different, written by somebody different, but used as almost like a based on Gene Roddenberry Star Trek, based on what's his face, Vikings. Anyway, it's based on 100 years in the future, or 100 years on from Ragnar Lothbrok. And I was thinking to myself watching this that really, if you were around in that time in history, from this point to like either 100 or 200 or 300 years on, if you time traveled in that time, you wouldn't really notice much difference because actually nothing had really changed. People still made transport by horses, wagons. People still didn't have any electric, nothing really changed. People still fought with swords and arrows and bows. So imagine, like, in our generation, things have changed dramatically and shifted, like, from polar opposites within, like, 25, 30-year window. Imagine being around for 300 years and very little changing at all. It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird.
How everything is, they do say that there was obviously been this technological burst or, boost or whatever. But it's just interesting to imagine why humans probably didn't have a very creative or aspirational outlook on life back then, because everything was just always the same anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I remember recently, like only in the last 20 years, when they imaged a black hole for the first time at the center of the galaxy, and they finally proved that
Black holes
a
were...
black hole existed, and up to that point it was just a theoretical thing. It just seems like a basic concept that up until recently was not known about.
Yeah, Kevin makes a good point. It's war that brings people forward. But saying that, there was lots of wars, certainly not on the scale as we think about them, but then that's because back then people couldn't travel as easily as they could. Even, World War One brought around the first, fight in the air. The world was plagued with wars constantly then, but it didn't cause, I don't think, massive evolution, but I guess there was some evolution in weaponry used in wars. Anyway, just to point out, not sure what she means. Karen put
get permission first, guys?
Oh, to go on a road trip. We're making our decisions to go away on a road trip.
Oh, right.
We've got to check with the bosses.
Bosses, if you're still online...
We've got to
and
check
you
with the
can...
management.
Yeah. It's all right to make a road trip.
Yeah. On September the 17th, 1908, Thomas E. Selfridge, a passenger in a plane flown by Orville Wright, died in an airplane crash. He was the first person to do so, but he lost his life the same year the Ford Motor Company introduced their Model T. So the first person to die in a plane crash died in a plane crash the same year the first production motor car hit the road.
So nobody had died in a plane before him?
Well, no, because the Orville brothers, they invented flying. So
Right.
there were no airplanes before them.
Ah, right,
So it was
okay.
the first Wright brothers plane to crash and someone die happened in 1908. The same year, the first motor car hit the road. You wouldn't think that, would you? You'd thought the motor car would have come first.
Well, the motor car definitely did. I mean, the first motor vehicles were hitting around 1880, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first production Ford, you know. Yeah, there were definitely motor cars in Europe before that. My last one here, I'm just quickly flicking through. Interestingly, that Cleopatra lived closer in time to the iPod than she did the building of the pyramids. She existed in time closer to now than
Who did?
Cleopatra.
Yes, Cleopatra was towards the end of the Egyptian Empire, hence the name of... Oh, no, it's not Constantinople?
No.
No.
She lived in Alexandria.
That's the Roman Empire I'm thinking of.
Yeah. But no, she was... she married
Alexandria,
Caesar.
that's it. She moved north, didn't she,
Yeah.
to Alexandria?
Yeah, she moved to Alexandria. And... yeah, she married Caesar, didn't she? So during the Roman times, she was technically the last emperor of Egypt. And was, yeah.
So, Mickey, do you want a job on the Monte Zone or something?
Well,
we don't need to take the trip anymore. Mickey's solved the complete problem for us. No, I think it's a good guess, but I still would... well, I'll have a look into that after the show.
What's his guess?
He said... may have found the answer to the lights.
Yeah.
Dino flagellates are one of the most common bioluminescent organisms found in shallower water, also only salt water. They glow when disturbed.
Yeah. You see that. You see that on the west coast of America all the time. People go swimming, you know, in it.
But I've never known them to move like that and also to bounce, because one bounces across the pier. So these, because I thought that they were actually in the water, are they not?
Yes, but I mean, the sea's, splashing,
Throwing them up.
throwing it everywhere, isn't it?
Okay, so again,
the wind and the
this is why it's important for me to find that other piece of footage, because that other piece of footage has the light coming out of the ocean and then it shoots up in the air at phenomenal speed, and I don't think that could be explained by that. But anyway, let's have a look at some footage of dino flagellates.
Yeah, I don't know if we've got some.
So, see you in a second.
No,
My last
That's no
ditch
good.
effort to rid myself of these dinos.
whatever, mate. I just want some picture of water.
Oh, Karen's saying no permission to video like the Jamaica Inn, but it's a public space that we're going to, so they can't really stop
I
us.
see. Yes,
It's a public-
Yes,
We're not going to hijack the camera. The camera is owned by the RNL,
RNI.
RNI, whatever it's called.
RNLI.
But we're just going to go to the public space so there shouldn't be any issues with us filming or anything like that.
Yeah, I'll turn the music off because we don't want the music. But here you see bioluminescent waves.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I'm aware of that.
It's very cool. I've seen people swimming in it and stuff.
Yeah, I've always had a dream of wanting to swim in it. It'd be amazing. Get them quite a lot in Thailand as well, don't you?
Oh, maybe. This is Monterey Bay, which is probably, I imagine, on the west coast of the USA.
Mm.
Usually it's the west coast of the USA, as it's the warm waters of the Pacific. Could be. Let's have a look. California. It is California. Yeah.
Good
Anyway,
offer and suggestion, and that's what this is all
Yeah, it's just
about.
south of San Francisco. This is
a really good example of some of you guys have really been playing part of a live investigation tonight, because you're helping us, one, find the footage, you're helping us come up with ideas and thoughts or solution, or presenting information that helps support that. So great live investigation, great live discussion.
Yeah.
What we really wanted. So remember, when you see that advert coming up for the Monte Zone, start preparing all your bits that you want to share with us. And also, don't be afraid to talk to us about some experiences you might have had that you want to share with us as well.
Yeah. Well, I think it's worked. I had my misgivings about doing this in person, but I think it's worked fairly well.
Yeah, it can only get better, because that's what we aim to do here in the Monte Zone, is just keep improving things and just making them a little bit slicker all the time.
Might build a custom studio for it in the basement.
Yeah, that would be the one.
That would be the way.
To do, 'cause you could do it for multiple shows.
Look at Chewy's trying
Hot
to
wings.
assault you.
Hi. Gives a kiss.
Yeah.
I hope my dogs aren't watching, they'll get jealous. Do you realise I'm going to get so many sniffs when I get home? Yeah. Because they're like, we can smell Chewy all over you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, well, I'm really glad that you've really liked this format.
Yes.
We may be keeping the Monte Zone to a monthly affair now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then if things come thick and fast, we'll do special fortnight ones if stuff comes through. But yeah, keep sharing, keep telling us about stuff, and keep supporting the channel, basically, which is awesome. Being great support of the G-Star Vault videos and the story times, and the TNG review show's doing really well as well.
Hang on, I know we're saying our goodbyes, right? But I've just got to point. Kevin said he thinks he was nearly hit by lightning once, which was really strange. We're gonna want more details on that story, Kevin.
Yeah, and I can share with you, because I was very near lightning once in my life, and I can tell you exactly what it feels like to be in electrified air.
I've been my whole family were nearly hit by lightning once. So we've all got lightning stories. Maybe we'll make a
lightning
show. Feature next time. No,
please join us for that live stream, and you can only join if you've been hit almost by lightning once.
Yeah.
No, but and also I've got a pretty horrendous story about getting caught in a tornado as well. So that was exciting in Arizona.
Wow. Wow.
Some strange stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you to Mickey, our personal investigator, and Kevin. Thank you for coming along. Thank you, Smile, my wrench. Karen, good to see you back in Ode Blighty, and I hope you are well. And
thanks to the wrench, Smiler. I think you already said
I've
that.
said that one.
Thank you to everyone, and thank you to Mars for joining us as well.
Join us in
and
April.
Have an amazing weekend.
Back in April for the next Monte Zone. Cheers.